Have you ever felt that sensation? That moment when you look around and realize that somehow you're more alone than you used to be? It's not just a fleeting impression. It's as if the universe has gently nudged people out of your path, one by one, creating a sacred space around you. Perhaps you've noticed that your closest friendships have started to drift away naturally, that relationships once so crucial have begun to dissolve, like mist in the morning. And the most intriguing part? You feel somehow that this is all part of something greater. It's no coincidence, it's not bad luck, and it's definitely not a punishment from the universe. In fact, it's quite the opposite. This isolation you're experiencing now is one of the most profound signs the universe can send, a sacred invitation to a journey of transformation that only a few are chosen to undertake. You know that inner voice that sometimes whispers there's something more, something greater waiting for you? It's getting stronger now, isn't it? That's because you finally have the silence you need to hear it. This isolation isn't about being alone. It's about being in the company of your truest self for the very first time. At this moment, you might be wondering, why me? Why now? And it's precisely these questions that lead us to an even deeper truth about your current journey. A truth that not only explains why you were chosen for this moment of isolation, but also reveals what it means for your spiritual path and personal evolution. Why you were chosen. And this is precisely where we reach the crux of this journey. You are not experiencing ordinary isolation. The universe carefully chooses its messenger souls, those who carry a unique sensitivity, an extraordinary ability to turn introspection into wisdom. Have you noticed how you've always been a little different? Perhaps you've been the one people naturally confided in, the one who saw beyond appearances, who felt the energy of places and people more intensely than others. These are not random traits. They are the marks of a soul chosen for a greater mission. The universe recognizes in you a unique capacity for transmutation. Like a spiritual alchemist, you have the ability to turn moments of solitude into pure gold of self-discovery. This is not a common skill. It is a gift that few possess, and even fewer know how to harness. But with great gifts come great responsibilities, and that is why this isolation has come to you at this specific moment. The universe is creating an energetic cocoon around you, a sacred space where your intuitive abilities can finally flourish without external interference. Think of it as an involuntary spiritual retreat. While others might interpret your isolation as something negative, you are being prepared for a profound expansion of consciousness that will fundamentally change the way you exist in the world. It's as if the universe is saying, now it's your turn. You are ready. And that feeling that something greater is on the horizon, that intuition telling you you're in the midst of a profound transformation, it's not your imagination. These are the first signs of a greater awakening, signals the universe has consistently sent through this experience of isolation. The 5 signs from the universe. And speaking of signs, you need to know that you're not imagining things. The universe has its own language, and when you're being guided toward a greater purpose, the signs become increasingly clear and frequent. Let's explore the 5 most significant signs that confirm your isolation is part of a greater divine plan. The first sign is the synchronicities that seem impossible to ignore. You begin to see repeating number patterns, 1111, 333, 444. Messages that seem to speak directly to your soul appear in unexpected places. A book falls from the shelf, opening to the exact page you needed to read. A song plays at the perfect moment with precisely the words your heart needed to hear. These are not coincidences. They are confirmations. The second sign is the natural shift in your relationships. Notice how some people have started to drift away without conflict or drama, as if an invisible force is gently rearranging your social circle. At the same time, you might feel less inclined toward superficial connections, preferring meaningful solitude over empty interactions. The third sign is a deep, inexplicable need to be alone. This isn't a depressive or distressing loneliness. It's an internal call to silence. It's as if your inner self knows it needs this space to process significant transformations happening on deeper levels of your consciousness. The fourth sign is the powerful insights that arise during your moments of solitude. Truths about your life, your purpose, and your essence begin to reveal themselves with surprising clarity. It's as if every moment alone becomes a therapy session with your higher self, bringing revelations that could only emerge in this sacred space of isolation. And the fifth sign, perhaps the most significant, is a constant feeling that you're preparing for something greater. You may not know exactly what's coming, but there's an inner certainty that something important is approaching. It's as if every moment of solitude is a necessary step toward a destination your heart already knows, even if your mind doesn't fully understand it yet. These signs don't appear by chance. They are milestones on your path of spiritual evolution. They are the universe's way of confirming that you are exactly where you need to be, even if it feels challenging or lonely at times. And it's precisely here that we begin to understand the true purpose behind this divine isolation. The purpose of your isolation. Now that you recognize the signs, it's essential to understand that your isolation serves a much deeper purpose than simply being alone. It's as if the universe has created a sacred dome around you, a space for purification and transformation. Imagine your energetic field as a sacred garden. Over the years, this garden has accumulated energies, thoughts, and patterns that are not truly yours. Connections that, while meaningful at one point, now act like weeds, hindering your true growth. This period of isolation is like a deep energetic cleansing, removing everything that no longer resonates with your current frequency. But it goes beyond cleansing. This is a moment of reconnection with your higher self. That part of you that has always known your true purpose but whose voice was often drowned out by the noise of the external world. In the silence of your isolation, that voice becomes clearer, stronger, and impossible to ignore. You are being prepared for a new phase of existence. Like a butterfly in its cocoon, this seemingly restrictive period is, in reality, a process of complete metamorphosis. Your old structures are dissolving to make way for a higher version of yourself. Is it uncomfortable? Yes. Is it necessary? Absolutely. And perhaps the most extraordinary aspect of this process is the awakening of spiritual gifts that have always been within you, simply waiting for the right moment to emerge. Your intuition is sharpening, your sensitivity is becoming more refined, and your connection to the divine is deepening. These are abilities that could only develop in this sacred space of solitude. How to make the most of this moment? Now that you understand the greater purpose of your isolation, the question arises: how can you truly honor this sacred period? How can you transform each moment alone into an opportunity for growth and evolution? The key lies in establishing daily practices that nurture your soul and strengthen your inner connection. Start by creating self-care rituals that go beyond the physical, practices that nourish your being on every level. A salt bath at the end of the day isn't just a bath. It's an energetic cleansing. A solitary walk isn't just exercise, it's a form of moving meditation. Dedicate time to deep self-discovery exercises. Keep a journal of reflections, not just about your thoughts, but also your most subtle intuitions and sensations. What messages have your dreams been bringing? What patterns are you noticing during your moments of introspection? Every insight is a clue on the map of your spiritual evolution. Meditation becomes even more powerful during this time. There's no need for complex techniques. Sometimes simply sitting in silence and observing your breath for a few minutes can open portals to profound understanding. In these moments of stillness, the answers you seek begin to emerge naturally. Keep a dedicated record of the synchronicities and signs appearing in your life. You'll start to notice significant patterns, recurring messages, and repeated numbers. These are like breadcrumbs left by the universe, guiding you along the path of your personal evolution. And remember, this is not a time to force yourself to constantly do. Sometimes the most important thing is simply to be present, conscious, and receptive. It's in those moments of apparent doing nothing that the deepest transformations take place. Overcoming challenge. Of course, even knowing that this isolation has a divine purpose, there will be moments of doubt, moments when resistance knocks at your door. It's natural. It's part of the transformation process. On difficult days, when solitude feels heavier, remember, you are not alone in your solitude. There is a fundamental difference between loneliness and solitude. While loneliness makes us feel empty, solitude fills us with wisdom and inner strength. It's a subtle shift in perspective that can completely transform your experience. The key to staying grounded during this process is accepting that resistance is part of the journey. When you feel the urge to run from this moment, to distract yourself with superficial connections, or to revert to old patterns, take a deep breath and remind yourself, this is just your mind clinging to the familiar, the known. The discomfort you feel is the sound of your old structures dissolving to make way for the new. Stay anchored in the certainty that every challenging moment is making you stronger, preparing you. Like a diamond that needs pressure to form, you are in the process of becoming your brightest, truest version. Your isolation is not a cosmic accident. It is a sacred calling. Each moment of solitude is an opportunity to awaken to your true essence, to hear the whispers of the universe that have always been there, waiting to be heard. Trust the process. Trust the divine timing. And above all, trust yourself. Because when the universe chooses someone for this journey of deep transformation, it's because it knows the extraordinary potential that lies within that soul. You are not alone. You are finding yourself.